Howdy folks, welcome back to the workshop. So today we're going to be doing a restoration project. We're going to be restoring this old WW2 knife. As you can see, the blade and the handle are in pretty rough shape, so we're just going to be doing a blade refinishing and a rehandling. So it should be a pretty cool little project. Let's get right into it. Alright, so we basically just ground off just enough to remove some of that mushrooming that was keeping the pommel on. So now we're just going to clamp it nicely in the vise to where it can't fold in on itself and just start gently tapping. Alrighty, so it looks like what happened here was that there was a little T-shaped thing here and it actually sheared off while I was hammering it. I did not expect that to be the design of this knife. I've done others like this before and that's the first time I've ever seen that. So I'm probably going to have to, fix this with some extra steel. I'll just find a little piece of stock and then weld it on there. So it should work out pretty well. It should be stronger than before. Kind of a weird design, but it is what it is. So right here we're going to be using a pretty worn out 220J Flex belt. That way we can kind of get a feel for what the bevels are going to be like. Using a worn out one so we don't take up too much material. But the big thing to remember while you're grinding on heat treated knives is just to keep it cool. So I'm going to keep dunking it in water just to make sure it's all cool. So I'm just going to just kind of clean up the edges a little bit to see what we're up against here. So here's the blade so far. Got it cleaned up a lot better than it was before. Just got to be careful not to take out too many of these pits because otherwise it might end up losing the touch mark, and definitely don't want that. It's part of history. So I'm not sure how clean we're going to be able to get the blade itself, but so far it's looking pretty good. Alrighty, so talked to the client and he did not want me to sand any further down into the knife, so it's going to end up looking kind of rugged because he didn't want it to end up too thin or to lose the touch mark here. So it's going to have some of the pits left, so we're going to just try to clean it up as much as we possibly can. Same thing with the guard and the pommel. They're probably going to have some pitting left over. We're going to try to hide that when we do the abrasive finish. That way we just don't lose too much material and don't lose that nice tight fit and end up with too thin of a blade. So. Alright, so here's the deal here. So in order to get all this kind of set up nice and straight, I have a small neodymium magnet here, and then this clamp here obviously to keep these two pieces of the pommel together. And I have the magnet here to keep the tang extension fixed securely to the actual tang itself since it broke off. So this is something I've done several times before. Usually it's with welding a piece of hardware at the end to where you can get the pommel actually screwed on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover all this up, probably with a piece of leather or another glove, and then go around here with some 3-in-1 oil. That way if there's any splatter from the welding, it won't stick. work's all done, got the blade all polished and the handle all finished up, so I think the client will be extremely happy with it. I just want to thank you folks so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to see more like this, you can go ahead and subscribe. If you want to follow along on other projects, I'll be putting links to my social media in the description. But that's all for now, so until next time, be strong, work diligently, and glory to God in the highest.